Is going on, everybody? I apologize for being a couple minutes tardy because right as I hopped on here, the 49ers made a roster move. The 49ers have added a player to the practice squad, and that player is former second round wide receiver Devon Funches out of Michigan. The 49ers now have some size on that practice squad. So typically, sometimes when it's obviously every situation is individual to itself, but when you see moves like this or something happen, there could be an injury, a late injury that maybe wasn't caught on in game or we didn't really see it. Um, so you never know. He is a big boy. I believe he's in the 6'5" category. Um, he's a lot like, he's 6'4", 225, 27 years old. He's kinda like, he's a younger Mohamed Sanu in a sense. Honestly, really hasn't come on too much, since, his time with the Panthers. I know he spent some time with Green Bay, but really with his kind of initial, coming out party, with the Panthers who did draft him in the second round, Devin Funches hasn't done a whole lot. Um so we'll see. We'll see what that means for the 49ers if he actually, I don't know, gets any run with us. We're gonna find out. Obviously, if there are injuries or anything like that. Maybe Mohamed Sanu is dealing with a setback. Maybe this is a situation where we get the follow-up report that Mohamed Sanu, might not be coming back as soon as they had anticipated. Obviously, Mohamed Sanu is on injured reserve, and he has the opportunity to come back after 3 weeks. However, that's not not a given. If he's hurt more, he could be staying longer behind. So we'll see. That could be a direct move. Obviously, you look at the size, you look at the stature, very very similar. Last time Devin Funches contributed to a season was in 2019. He had one game for the Indianapolis Colts. He had 3 catches in that game for 32 yards, and that was it. Didn't play. He opted out in 2020. I believe he got injured in his first game with the Colts, and we haven't seen him since then, since 2019. So it's been a couple years since Devin Funches has seen the field. So we'll see what comes of that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. He was drafted in the second round. He was drafted in the second round over throughout his career, which pretty much everything, all this production came from 2015 to 2018 with the Carolina Panthers. He had 164 receptions, 2,265 yards receiving, and 21 touchdowns. So who knows? He's a big body, like we talked about. Maybe he could be a Mohamed Sanu fill in, but we'll see. So we'll see if he actually gets any run, and we'll see if anything comes from that. Some more news. We are going to do a film breakdown. That is what we are here to do. We are going to break down the film. We see all the squad in here. We had to get the news out the way. What's up, family? Um, so we are going to go ahead and transfer over to that in 1 second. But there is also some additional news to come out today. The 49ers got flexed. They got flexed out of Sunday Night Football, Week 13 against the Seahawks. And this is a direct correlation to the Seahawks not being good right now. So if you guys remember, I think it was in 2020. I think we had 5 primetime games in 2020. I think we got flexed out of nearly all of them. So we've been on the opposite side, but this time we're not getting flexed because of the 49ers. Thankfully, they got flexed because of the Seahawks and because the Seahawks have just not been playing well. On top of that, the team that moves into the Sunday Night Football slot is these freaking flies, man. Is the Chiefs versus Broncos. So that's what they're up against. That's who the Niners got bumped for. They got bumped for Chiefs Broncos. So it is what it is. Um it is what it is. All right, let's get ready. You guys ready to watch the film? If you guys can, like this video up. Let's try to get some more people in here. Let's get the vibe going, get the comments going, and we'll pull up the chat. We will pull up, or I'm sorry, we'll pull up the film. Yep, we got bumped by the Broncos. Hate to see it. We got bumped for Teddy Bridgewater, Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, the whole gang. Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon. That's who the Niners got bumped for. In fact, that's who the Seahawks got bumped for. But we get it. Mahomes sells tickets, right? Mahomes, here you go from Alejandro. Chiefs NFL bias. Oh, NFL loves them some Chiefs. They love them some Chiefs. Do you see how much money the NFL has made off of Patrick Mahomes and his Super Bowl victory against the 49ers? We're not going to go. This isn't a conspiracy show, so we're not going to get into any of that. But just pay attention. Have you seen how much money the NFL has made off Patrick Mahomes since he won that Super Bowl? Just saying. Just saying. Those armbar penalty calls would have come in handy back then. At least we're starting to see some of those. We got some of those against the Jags. What's good, Sean? What's good, Sean? Tinfoil hat, absolutely. It's always on. I think we could win out. This Vikings game might tell us everything we need to know. This Vikings game, yeah, 100%. Again, we've talked about it at nauseum on this channel. We really don't care who comes up in front of the 49ers at this point, because we understand that if they're playing their game, they're executing, they're doing everything that they want to do and are trying to accomplish. It's going to be really hard for any team to beat them. And that's what it comes down to. So the Vikings, yeah, they have a great offense. They have Dalvin Cook. They have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. They got Kirk Cousins, who's playing at a pretty high level in regards to accuracy and throwing the football. From my understanding, I'm not going to pretend like I've watched a ton of Vikings games this year. But also they have a pretty decent defense. They've got some holes, but I still absolutely believe that the 49ers are going to continue this game plan that they executed against the Jags, that we're going to break down, and we're going to get into all of it and talk about the hows and the whys of why they won this game and all the small nuance. That's typically what we do here, so we're going to get into that. But yeah, the 49ers have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to make some damage in the NFL. So hopefully we see that happen. What's up, all the sourdough squad? Everyone drop an SDS in the chat. Let's go. Yes, sir. What's up, Michael? He says, hey, Brad, every week is a must win going forward. I absolutely agree. It's how every game should be looked at. You try to win every single one of them. I agree. And we remember the last time Minnesota Vikings came over to Levi Stadium. Didn't go too well for them. We didn't even have to pass the ball. We got some additional news on players that the 49ers worked out. Only real name that jumps out off this list is Benny Fowler, who we actually signed, was on our team earlier. They also worked out Cody Core, Thacarius Keys, Luke Barco, Nate Hall, Lavert Hill. So that's some more news of workouts that occurred today. So, interesting. Sorry, squirrel. We had some news. We had some news pop off. So I had to take care of that. All right, let's talk about some film. You guys ready? You You guys ready to watch some film? You ready to get into the nitty-gritty of all this tape? I hope you are. What's good, Joshua? So we're gonna do offensive breakdown today. What we're gonna be looking at is we're gonna look at the offense. Obviously, I'm gonna highlight the touchdowns first, and then we'll drill down into specific plays, which plays we liked, from specific individual efforts. Again, we can highlight an individual effort on a busted play. Um, just because the play busts doesn't mean uh, there's players that didn't do their job. It's just there's always reasons and um, reasons why all that stuff happened. But we're going to get into all of it. But let's start here. Let's start with the first touchdown, I believe, to Debo Samuel, 1456. And I think this is a good one because we get a lot of different elements here. We get a lot of different elements here on this scoring play. All right, let me get it queued up. Let me make sure I can still see the chat. And we will get into this. Let's go. It's a lot of fun. And if you guys, again, I know the Sourdough Squad helps me out a ton with this. But if you like, there's 40 people in here. We get 40 likes in here. Hell, we might see 80 people in here in about 2 seconds. So we get 80 likes. You know how it works. It just starts to go up and up. So we appreciate you. And let's get into this. So if you guys can see, we are going to run essentially it's like an outside counter, if you will. It's not really counter, it's almost like a power. Because you have Trent Williams, you have George Kittle kind of blocking down here, because they're trying to essentially isolate this player on the edge for Lakin. So it's a lot easier to kind of almost work this technique rather than trying to get George to, to try and get around and reach block this. Kind of gives Lakin a little bit of a shot to get out. And you can just see how Debo, man, as a running back is phenomenal. We, he, coach brought this up. Coach brought this up yesterday. He really is kind of that Mostert right now. He really is. The way he runs, how he runs, and again, we're gonna talk about the similarities that Debo has to Mostert, and it's right here. Watch the change of speed. So what we talk about with Mostert is his vision. We talk about his gearing up and gearing down, waiting for blocks and being able to cut off those blocks, set up blocks, all that stuff. And we'll just talk about how Debo Samuel does that here. So just this little kind of fade right here. He's kind of jogging. You see, he's not running full speed. He's setting up. He's trying to see where he wants to go. He's still kind of veering out. The beauty of this is that he is helping Lincoln. He is helping Lakin right here because watch 6 react to Debo's kind of wide angle. You see him, he gets out there in a hurry. He said, nope, because he's got contain. He is supposed to be the edge contain, so he can't let anything get outside of him. That's his goal. So you can see Debo kind of stem that out and then cut it in. But we talk about that gear. We talk about this kind of patience. Once he decides to actually go north and south, the speed in which he goes north and south, the defense cannot react to it. Like he's running by guys because they just aren't ready for this north south speed and just gets right by him. Just gets right by him, uses Lincoln, helps Lincoln get the block. We talk about setting blocks up all the time on this channel. That's what Debo did. That little stem, that little kind of flare right there to the outside, and then you get the foot here, and then the cut with the speed after it. That's what we're talking about, and it's beautiful. Everyone blocked extremely well. Sean's saying, let's look at the center. Let's look at the center. Let's look at good old Alex Mack. Let's track Alex. So Alex right here. Oh, got a little tripped up, but boom, just enough, guys. We talk about effort all the time. We talk about doing anything you can to get your hands on someone. And this, like, okay, like might not look like a block to maybe the casual eye, but that is the difference in Debo Samuel scoring a touchdown right here and not getting pushed out of bounds. That's how small these little like views of effort, how much it impacts the overall product. Same thing with Daniel Brunskill. Watch the effort here, Daniel Brunskill, to be able, we'll get a better view of this since we're kind of going in on the line. So look at Daniel Brunskill reach. This is an outside shade. This is a very hard block. You see how he's aiming for the helmet on the outside shoulder. Boom. Beautiful. Now you bring the hips over. Well, he actually got his feet a little tripped up, it looks like, but he's working still. He's working. And that effort, that ability right here is everything you need. So that big number 52 doesn't get hands on Debo. So great block here. Again, you see what these guys are working against. They hit knees. Mack is able to still get on track, get to his guy. That contact here is enough to get two mixed up. It's beautiful. Everyone did a good job here. Everyone did a good job here. I mean, eh, we'll get into Jalen Moore in a little bit. We'll get into Jalen Moore in a little bit. I have a lot to say about Jalen Moore, but I want to make sure I do it properly. We'll get into Jalen Moore a little bit. But even right here, this block from Kittle, look at that. Again, this play does not happen without every hat on the ball blocking. What's good, Luke? Get those tattoos looking right, my boy. Get those tattoos looking right, my boy. But why I like to start with this specific play is because this is a team play. This is everyone. This is tight ends blocking. This is left guards getting out in space. This is a wide receiver playing running back. Like, you get it all here. You get centers getting to second level, all of it. You get great reads and the setup by like that little stem to the outside, gets 6 flowing, gets 26 flowing to the outside because they're so terrified of the outside speed. Then you get Debo the wherewithal to cut it up. Dude, it's a beautiful play, guys. This is a beautiful play. I could spend a lot of time on this play. It really, really was fantastic. Really was fantastic. Greg. Greg says, Brad, my guy, we're starting to take shape, bro, and the team has that killer instinct growing. Ground and pound game is tough. 100%. 100%. Kittle moves his feet into position, blocks so well, and just sticks with it. Absolutely. Kittle is a huge reason why this play busts. Again, on this channel, we've talked about when Kittle wasn't in and why plays weren't busting is because you weren't getting these blocks, at least from Ross Dwelly when Ross Dwelly was starting. When they made the switch to Charlie Warner, it became a little bit more efficient. But this is why the outside zone run scheme and concept does not work without an elite blocking tight end. We can't do what we want to do as an offense without a tight end like this. Because if you're not getting this block on Miles Jack is a great linebacker, extremely athletic. He wears the captain's patch on his chest for a reason. He's one of their best players. But look at that blocking. And that's the difference. Look at everyone with just selling out, pure effort from Brunskill, effort from Mack, effort from Trent Williams to just absolutely stonewall 90, effort from Lakin. Like this is, and then you get Debo Samuel, who's helping set up blocks, aid blocks, hitting it with right timing and right angles. It's absolutely beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And I want to show you too how they set this play up. Now we're going to talk about the nuance, right? We're going to get into the nitty gritty of the nuance. What's up, family? What's up, family? Oh, Trent's balling, guys. Trent's balling. Uh, honestly, Debo's the only one running like this. Now, Elijah Mitchell's been running well, but he's not running like Debo. He's not. There's a different level of vision to Debo's running style. Um, yeah, it's really hard to get him down. It really, really is. But let's see how they set this play up, right? Not this one. Uh, That's a touchdown. I'm pretty sure this was the setups. Oh, it might have actually been the other sequence. Let me double check. Yeah, it was a different sequence. Let me see if I can find that sequence. All right, so watch this play, right? So we got on the touchdown. On the touchdown, we broke it down pretty well. We had Lakin pulling, right, leading the way on this one. Look at the part of the field. Let's look at the formation they're in. All right, it's not too similar, but let's look at 26. Yep. So we're gonna look at a two-play sequence of how Kyle Shanahan schemes things open. Because so what we're gonna look at right here is pay attention to the formation. You've got this kind of bunch trips formation to the right side of the field. They motion Debo Samuel into the backfield. So all this pre-snap motion is so pretty, but then watch it get executed, and then we'll break it down, and then we'll show how it translates into the very next play. Because what Kyle did, he ran the same play twice. He ran the same play twice, but with intentionally, and I see it all come together. And we talk about play design, play calling, timing of plays. Like, we're going to talk about why this play was successful to the inside and why they were able to run it the exact same way, but be basically have a huge game on the outside. So let's break this one down and then we'll move to the second one. What you're going to see is this same concept. It's essentially a counter play. Typically, with counters, you get this motion from the tackle and the guard at the same time. But of course, in Kyle's scheme, anyone basically offensive lineman in Kyle's scheme. Probably one of the reasons why I love Kyle's scheme so much. Oh, what do we got here? I'm gonna butcher your name, Guerrero. Guerrero, we need to keep playing like we've been playing. Don't stop running the ball. Go Niners. Beat the Vikings. 100%. We need this. We need this right here. What we're about to look at and watch. We need exactly what my guy is saying. I apologize for messing up your name, most likely, but let's watch it. So, what we're keying on right now is that essentially we are treating so this is the crazy Kyle scheme. In this typical type of concept, in a running concept, Brunskill is actually the lead blocker. Typically, in a typical counter style running concept, the guard would be the lead puller. So that means the guard, you get 45 up here, right? The guard in that typical concept is being the kick out block. They switched roles. And again, it's part of this, like, the way they're redefining the run game with this outside zone and the way they do all these corners off of it. It's it's pretty sick, and we're gonna see that here in a second. But so we understand that they flipped responsibility. So then Juice turns into the kick out block. You get the kick out block from Juice. Beautiful. So what does Debo do? He runs to the inside. So Debo now has to read Brunskill. Debo is reading where Brunskill is going and how he's going about the block. So as you can see, Brunskill places his head. We'll get a better view over here. Brunskill is going to place his head exactly where it needs to be. Boom. Get it on that inside shoulder, bring the hips around, and clear him out. This is exactly what you want from Brunskill. Brunskill is an underrated puller. Brunskill is an underrated puller. He needs more credit for how good he's been as a puller. Now he's not always perfect, but he's been pretty damn good. And so again, we've talked about Debo Samuel setting up blocks, reading blocks. This angle, see the way he angles to the outside? 54 is reading that. So, do you notice how this is what good running backs do? I talk about this at nauseum here, and I will not stop because I'll show you what it looks like when you don't have this with like Trey Sermon in a little bit. But you have 19 who sets up the threat of the outside, which means 54 is going to keep flowing to the outside, which sets your offensive lineman up to get the block. Then you get the cut back inside from Debo. And that look, there's guys in position to make this play, but the speed in which he cuts, boom, it's beautiful. Debo's phenomenal as a running back. Phenomenal. But now let's look how they take the same exact play. We'll set it up again. Remember this formation here, guys? Remember this formation? Uh, Trips bunch to the right. Debo Samuel in the backfield. Brunskill juice pulling. Yeah, we remember this concept, right? Very next play. Very next play. What do we get? Oh, we get bunch to the right out of trips with juice. Look who's in the backfield. That's Debo. And let's watch the play. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. But this is, I guarantee you guys, a design. This is a function of Kyle Shanahan, his brain. We talk about all the time on this channel about how Kyle sets up defenses. He wants them to see one look and believe it's one thing and then counter off of it. So again, this is the same exact play, but watch the outcome and we'll talk about why this works beautifully. Watch the outcome. Same play. Oh. Oh. This is why I always say I want to watch film with Mike McDaniel. This is why I always say that, because I think this is a function of the types of things that Mike McDaniel installs in regards to the run game. Again, this it's like a combination of zone power scheme that they've really kind of meshed together, because this is a power concept. This isn't a zone concept. It's designed specifically to you're running right off Brunskill's hip, no matter what. That is power concepts. Zone, you can go wherever you want. But the reason why this play is a setup, because watch these three mofos. Watch them. Oh, look, they're calling it. Oh, we seen this play. Look at him. We seen this. Oh, look, we're hella smart. Oh, look, yep, he's pulling again. Oh, yeah, Brunskill's gonna pull. Oh, we know exactly where this is gonna go. And watch them crash on the hole. Watch them crash on the hole. And Debo Samuel know exactly what's going on. Watch all of these guys crash. Boom. Look at where they are. Look at where they are. These two guys took themselves out of the play simply for believing that Debo's running off Brunskill, like it's just like it was done the play before, remember? Just like it was done the play before. They take themselves out of the play. This is coaching. This is coaching. And again, Debo having the wherewithal to be able to see it and bounce it outside. And you bounce it outside, and it's a huge gain. These guys thought it was a touchdown. I mean, look at Trent. Look at Trent. Trent thought it was a touchdown. Look at him. Debo's at the 15. He's not even, no, he's at the 20. Debo's at the 20. And look, they think it was a touchdown. Look at Warner. Warner thinks it's a touchdown. Luckily, this guy comes in out of nowhere and gets the game-saving tackle. But again, we talk about Kyle Shanahan. We talk about like the way he schemes stuff, the way you set plays up for the next play. This is that right in front of us. It's the same exact play. It's the same exact play back to back, but the main difference is they took advantage of a key They saw that they played this specific the play the first time. They saw how they played it specifically, right? Worked perfect for the inside cut based on the flow of everything. It worked perfect for the blocking assignment. But next time, this defense, oh, they're like, "Oh, we know it's coming," right? Watch the movement, watch how they adjust. They're in the box. The safety feeling like, "Oh, it's a run." They're gonna run into the same exact thing. They're gonna do it twice to us. Nope. Boom. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I know it's very nuanced. It's very, you know, we're looking at 2 plays and we're like, "Oh, it's the same exact play back to back with 2 different results." This is by design. This is what it's supposed to look like. So it's really fun to watch. It is really, really fun to watch. To see what Kyle is doing, how the guys are responding to it all. Um, it was great. Okay, let's go to another touchdown. Let's go to 20. Oh no, you know what? We're gonna go to almost the greatest touchdown of all time. We're gonna do that first. We're gonna do that first. My goodness, I have never wanted Jimmy to hit another throw more than in my life. Like, I would argue that this throw is up there with that Super Bowl throw. Like, I wanted this to happen, and I still think about, like, how I want it to happen, and then you saw it happen on, Monday Night Football with the Giants, and their big guy got the touchdown. I was like, "Oh, that should be us. We should be celebrating the big man." Hashtag Air Williams, as Raheem Mostert called him on Twitter. Oh my goodness, I love this. So this is how I think this is kind of the flaw in the scheme, unfortunately, um, because I don't think Trent Williams is actually double covered, but because this safety is keying on, I think, either Jeff Wilson or it looks like he's keying on Juice, and you get Juice blocking here. It's like kinda takes him out, like his guy, his responsibility. It takes him out and like he gives him a free. He's free now. He has no responsibility. His guy staying in the block that he should be guarding. So he ends up just kind of floating it, floating around there, and it looks like he's double covered, but he's really not. So I think an adjustment you can make off of this is have Juice go into the flat. Don't care to the flat like he's going out to receive. And if that's the case, 42 is coming out into the flat and is vacating that zone, and then you're getting true one-on-one coverage. And if you get that ball a little bit lower, Trent Williams might have a shot at it might have a shot at it. Um, I would have loved to see this, man. With this, we would have started with this play today. This would have been the leadoff. This would have been dissected left and right. But I really like it. I thought it was fun play. I wish they would have got it. Wish they would have got it. My guy got up, dude. Look at this dude's like 330. This dude's massive. He's massive, and he got up. He fell hard too. I felt that live, like him hitting the ground. I felt that live. Like I bet the ground shook a little bit because that's all that weight falling right on his hip. Ooh, hey, I'm a big boy too. I'm not as big as him, but big boys fall hard, man. Big boys fall hard. It does not feel good. All right. Next is the touchdown. This was the play before the touchdown, and then this is the actual touchdown. So Kittle today did a live um did a live today with Travis Kelsey, and I think they talked about this play a little bit. I kind of like was half listening, but now that I'm seeing it and replaying it, now that I've heard it, Kittle lined up in the wrong side. So Kittle's not supposed to be here. You want to know how Kittle's not supposed to be here? Look at Brandon Ayuk's body language to what let's get it right here before the play. Look at Ayuk's body language. So what the hell is this guy doing? Pointing to Kittle. Like, what's this guy doing? So Kittle absolutely lined up in the wrong spot. Kittle absolutely lined up in the wrong spot here. But it worked. I think he stole Ayuk's route. Obviously, Ayuk's running a slant. Um, Kittle hits the slant, gets the touchdown, but he's actually on the wrong side. So that was interesting to hear today, and you can kind of see it too. Again, look at the body language from Ayuk. Ayuk's like, "What is this guy doing? What's he doing here? Look at the hands." He points to him. What what's he doing? What do we do here? Kittle's not even looking. Kittle's just like, just snap the ball. Give me the damn touchdown. I'm gonna score. I don't give a crap. Um, so we saw something like this kind of similar. I think in the Eagles game, Debo Samuel lined up on the wrong side, ended up turning into a touchdown. So hey, maybe lining up on the wrong side works. Maybe lining up on the wrong side works. Throws everything off because you got four wide receivers basically to one side. Looks like Jeff Wilson. You got the Debo and Ayuk. You got the Yak Bros all bunched up over here. It worked out all right. It worked out all right. It really did. So hell, maybe we do that more. Maybe we do that more. Luke says, if we make the playoffs, we may see Trent leak for a pass in the deeper rounds against a team it hasn't happened against. I'd love it for the big dog. 100%. I don't think we're going to see that for a while. I think, I think those are the types of plays that you keep in your back pocket for a right look, the right moment. That's not one of those that you just necessarily bring out every single game or to try it. So yeah, I agree. I don't know if we'll see that. I hope they come back to it. I hope they come back to it. I hope they know how much fans would love to see it. I really, really would. What do we got here? We got a sermon run. Well, might as well take a sermon run. Let's see what sermon got. We got our sermon Sunday for the first time since October. It's actually a good run. Oh, look at Kittle, man. Watch Kittle. Look at how hyped this guy is. Look at how hyped he is. Find me a tight end that gets more hyped off blocking. Don't worry, I'm not going to wait because it will never happen. It will never happen. But look at these guys get to the second level. Look at these guys get to the second level. Look at Kittle. Look at Brunny. Brunny had a fantastic game. This might have been one of his best games of the year. Again, look at that block, bro. This is Miles Jack, guys. Miles Jack. I'm going to put some respect on Miles Jack's name. I think Miles Jack is a phenomenal linebacker in regards to, that kind of new age speed, kind of tweener linebacker, tweener safety style player, kind of like a, smaller Fred in a sense. Miles Jack is good, man. And Brunskill to get his hat on him and wash him out again. Great block here by Kittle and Compton. Kittle gives a little help to allow the this is how you double and you help your inside offensive lineman to be able to reach block this. You give him a little chip. Look out. It gets him on the right side of the leverage. This is beautiful. No wonder Kittle's so hyped. Look at Kittle bumps 96. This is an assist right here. Kittle assists Compton. Compton gets right leverage, but between the defender and the running back. That's lovely. And then you get Kittle to 54. Kittle turns 54 out, and he celebrates as a result. And then you get Sermon being able to see it clearly, cut up in between Kittle. Really nice. Really nice. And that's how you do it. That's how you draw it up right there. That is how you draw it up. We had a Sunday sermon / squirrel go right in front of us. So that was that was also that was also Sermon's best run of the game. He had another one that wasn't great, and I guess I'll show it now. Um, but I can see why Trey Sermon doesn't play very much. I really can, and I'm gonna show you a play to kind of dictate and show you why he doesn't play more. Um, I don't think it's an ability issue with Trey Sermon. I think it's a vision. It's a feel thing. He just is still going to have to learn how to run behind this offensive line. He really has to figure out how to be a better zone runner. We talked about the power concepts earlier. Power concepts, you're running to a specific spot. It's predestined. You go to that spot, and if it's not there, it doesn't work. There's no like zones are meant to be able to flow and cut back. That's how you're supposed to do it. But here's an example of Trey Sermon and some of the work that he still needs to do. This play was set up for him to bust. This play was set up to probably potentially be a big time gainer. But the problem is he didn't read his block properly. He tried to cut inside and he just ran into defenders. You don't want to take this inside. In fact, everything is set up for you to bounce this outside on the left side of Lake and Tomlinson, because if you get outside that left side, look what you got out here. You got Kittle, you got Lake, you got Trent Williams, you got Jawan Jennings, you got Debo Samuel blocking. Don't run into the teeth of the defense. Don't cut inside. What are we doing? What are we cutting at? You have 91 screaming at you. And then, fortunately, Jalen doesn't get the cutoff here. So you run into nothing. And this is just one of those things I feel like if I'm a coach, especially like I'm a O-line coach, I'm talking to the RB coach, like, bro, what are we doing here? Look at everything to the left side of Lincoln right here. Look at everything to the left side of Lincoln. We'll get it to a point where he makes his decision. So he makes his decision right about here because that is a cut step that goes inside. Why? Why is that the decision? I mean, look at the numbers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers. Why are we cutting back? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. You got 1, 2, 3 offensive linemen. Why are we cutting back? What is the process here? And so again, this is why Trey Sermon isn't playing more. Probably why he hasn't gotten a carry since October 10th, because these types of things you have to see what is being set up. You have like if he followed Trent right here, if he followed Trent Williams, you see Miles Jack is right there, and Trent is waiting for Miles Jack to fill the hole. Once Miles were to fill that hole, Trent is kicking him out, and then you would have a natural hole either right here, a lane here, a potential lane here, or a potential lane to the outside. So Sermon has ability. Sermon has ability, but this is why. This is why he's not playing more. He had to play because obviously Elijah Mitchell's out, but this is why. Like he probably got beat up for this play. Um, he probably got beat up for this play from his coach, I would imagine. Because what are we seeing here? What are we doing? What are we thinking? It's blocked up. Great. Like, just imagine if he hits this hole. Trent is writing this because Miles Jack isn't coming. Trent is anticipating Miles Jack to come up into the hole to follow the running back. And when that were to occur, you'd kick it out. And then you've got Jawan Jennings rolling over the oh man. I just saw this play and I was like, this is why. This is why. So you look at it again, and he just runs straight into the teeth of the defense. You see the natural lane that's developing on the outside. You had the numbers on the outside. It is what it is. He's got a lot to learn. It's who knows what's going on off the field? No idea. But on the field, he shows promise, he shows ability. But what is coming up time and time again is the vision. Uh, I'm clearly a vision stickler. I think I've made that abundantly clear because running back's vision affects my ability to block. If a running back doesn't have good vision, they make me look bad. Trust me, I've been there. I've been there. I blocked for running backs that don't know how to read nothing and make me look like ass. Don't like it. So I'm very sensitive to it. Nothing against Trey Sermon. He's a young kid. He's got a lot to learn. But it will come with reps. It will come with time. It will come. It will absolutely be there. Um, but just for now, Trey, and I talk about this with Elijah. Elijah still struggles with this, just not as much. He still has vision, a couple vision issues, just not as much. Jeff Wilson has I'm gonna say he's got a 99 rating on 99 rating on Madden when it comes to vision for Jeff Wilson. That's the kind of vision Jeff Wilson is playing with. Just unfortunately, everything's not lining up for Jeff Wilson like it has lined up for some of the other guys. Sean asks, when Mostert is healthy, do we release him or keep him? If he's cheap, if he's cheap, he's a unrestricted free agent. So unfortunately, Mostert likely is not coming back. It sucks. But yeah, he's probably not coming back. I imagine someone's going to pay him, give him a nice 2-year, 3-year salary. That's really good, or at least better than what the 49ers will give. And yeah, I don't think Mostert's coming back, unfortunately. I don't. I wish he were. I wish he had one more year under contract so we could bring him back and he would be here. I just don't think he is. James says, I'm not hating on Trey Sermon because I want him to play, but I've been saying since day one that Sermon has some work to do before I feel like he's ready. And I think that's abundantly clear. I think it's abundantly clear that Trey Sermon can do it. He can get positive yardage. He can make good cutbacks. He's done it. It's just not consistent enough. And again, as an offensive lineman, I start getting real picky and I start getting real critical of running backs who don't know how to read or set up blocks. It's a relationship between running backs and offensive lines, how they block, knowing how they block, how to set things up. It's so important. Not just the offensive line, it's both. It is in combination. What I wanted to show here, though, we talked about it a little bit. Brunskill was in his bag today. You're gonna get this is just a one-on-one pancake from Brunskill. He got no help. Look at him. Brunskill just put that boy on the turf. Look at Brunny. This is a second play of the game. Look at Brunny, guys. Again. Nope. I'll take that all day, Brunny. Brunny was in his bag. Brunny was in his bag this game, guys. I need some respect on Brunskill's name. After the last 2 weeks he's put on tape, Brunskill had phenomenal game. Now let's watch Trent Williams. Let's watch George Kittle do George Kittle and Trent Williams things. They kind of Trent has done this before where he pancakes guys when he's on the front side of a run blocking down and he pancakes his guy into into one of his guys. This time Alex Mack is a casualty. So not only does Trent Williams pancake this dude with a little help from Kittle, but he also takes down Alex Mack. Look at Mack, bro. He's like, oh, it's the second play of the game. But you love it. You love to see these two guys, how they collapse the side, the left side of the line. You get the kick out block. I mean, shout out Juice. There's really not much you can do when linebacker goes low on you like that. He's taking himself out of the play. But like I said, it's kind of up to the running back. And this is kind of some of the vision we talked about. Like it's designed to go left, but the ability to make this guy miss right in front of you, avoid him, kind of get stuck here and just churn out yards again. The simplicity of that foot in the ground and then getting north south here gets what 2-3 more yards. Like once Trey Sermon figures this out, once Trey Sermon figures this out, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. And I love that Wilson is here because what better way to learn than having a guy in your room who knows how to do it? Wilson has great vision. I love his vision. Um, so I think with Sermon, it will come, but we know it will take some time. Luke says Mostert may bet on himself and take a fair deal, a prove it deal, and land something after, but I'm sure teams may give the open faith and money. I'd love to have him for another year. I would love to have him for another year too, but I kind of look at the writing on the wall in the sense that, that he almost got traded, for a second there. His what was it? His agent requested a trade, I think, before the 2020 season on Twitter. Uh, yeah, it wasn't great. Wasn't great. All right, I want to. So I don't like showing lowlights or anything, but I do want to show respect to certain plays that other guys make on the other team. Because if you guys know football, there are other people who also play the game. It's not just about doing your responsibility correctly. You have to go against other guys who are getting paid millions of dollars as well. Um, I thought this particular play by Miles Jack was pretty impressive. I'm not sure I've ever seen this happen to Kittle specifically. And again, it's not to highlight anything Kittle's doing wrong or anything. It's just more to highlight the kind of grown man strength that Miles Jack has. Again, we talked about him earlier and how Brunskill was blocking him, but you, you rarely see this. You rarely see this. You rarely see a down block from Kittle where he's not in his shoulders not in this guy's hip and isn't driving him into the tackle. Miles just kind of got right through there and kind of put Kittle on the ground a little bit, like, oh, Kittle's like, oh. So again, it's not to be like, oh, Kittle ain't doing what he's supposed to. That was, I think, the only play that I logged that Kittle had like I guess a negative play. Um, I just thought it was interesting. I thought it was a good effort by Mack to be able to cut that off. But you get the effort right here. You get it right back. You get the effort from Kittle right back on Josh Allen to run to his side. It's a bit of an outside zone. That's actually inside zone. Inside zone again. Oh wait, we already broke this play down. That's why it looks familiar. We already broke that one down. We already did. Yeah, he is. So again, it's more giving credit to Miles Jack. I watch when I'm watching film, I'm constantly watching guys where I'm like, oh, he's nice or he's good. Like Josh Allen. I was kind of critical of Josh Allen when he was coming out a little bit. But that's a grown man right there. Like that's grown man strength. Um, this particular play is actually a bust based on. Oh no, this is actually the same concept that we saw earlier. We talked about it. We talked about how this is essentially like a counter, but they run it with this this guy who acts as essentially the guard. It's like a weird switch. So he actually has the responsibility of a guard. So he's going to turn up. But the problem is Brunskill is thinking the same thing because in reality, he is a guard. And that's typically the concept which is used. But we've seen it in the previous examples that we looked at earlier, where this player kind of takes the guard role and the guard goes to the tackle role. So Brunskill's supposed to be kicking out five. Uh, George is supposed to be rolling Allen. You can see they got confused on responsibility and they both went to the same guy. Um, that again was just back to some of the concepts that they're running that are different than the typical concepts that we normally see. I haven't studied offense Vikings defense yet, so I don't know. I know they got Kendricks. I think Griffin. I don't know how they line up yet. I haven't done this study yet on the Vikings. What do we got here? We got a sack. Should we look at the sack? See why the sack occurred? It's important to look at the good plays as well as the bad. So I remember this play. So you have two things happening here. Technically, both our tackles got beat. Both our tackles got beat, but they got beat for two different reasons. The reason why Trent got beat is because he didn't realize, like, he didn't have the connection that Juice was here and that he was going to be stepping up into that gap. So you can see Trent steps out, but he's concerned about the inside pressure here and forgets that he's got Juice here to pick him up and that he's actually responsible for Josh Allen. On this other side, you just have Jalen Moore kind of get beat. You get this little kind of jump cross club move from the D end. Once he gets the little hop and dip, he basically it's like a hop into like a club rip. He hops into the club rip. See the hop? He like hops into the club rip. That this leverage gets him the angle he wants to rip and get under. And essentially, if it had to be a race, 91 got home first. So 91 got home first. Um, but I'm gonna go ahead and say, wasn't great individual rep by Jalen, and then you had like a mental miscue right here from protection based on the blitz pickup. Again, you see the stunts they're running. D lineman's going looping here. He's going under. They're doing like double pressure, um, basically overload blitz. So they threw a lot at him. They threw a lot at him. They got it most of the time, but there are some instances when they didn't get it. And I'm gonna show you right now what happens when they didn't get it. It so you know through these breakdowns, I've highlighted time and time again how Brunskill and McGlinchey did not lose stunts. They just did not do that. They didn't lose stunts at all. Didn't occur. Doesn't happen. They don't lose stunts. And when we talk about stunts, we talk about looping defenders. One goes inside, one goes outside. It's just like a zone defense in basketball or whatever. You're just playing a zone. And so if a guy comes into your zone, you take him. If the guy that's in your zone leaves your zone, you pass him off. It's a simple concept. It's something that Brunskill and Mike McGlinchey did not lose at all. Like, I'm being 100% serious. They were 100% when it came to passing off stunts. And unfortunately, this is the drive that I think led to Jalen Moore's benching, but I also understand why it led to his benching because these guys were having to adjust their technique because unfortunately the rookie just wasn't catching up to speed. And will show you what that means and what that looks like when he's not catching up to speed. So this right here, they're throwing a stunt. This is a stunt. They're setting up a stunt. There's a reason 95's going wide towards the tackle is because he wants to draw the tackle out. That's the whole point of the stunt. He's trying to draw the tackle, the guard, because they want the looper 45 to be able to sneak under. That's the whole goal. There's a reason why this gap gets really wide. Look how wide that gap gets, and then look at Brunskill as a result. Jalen, unfortunately, has no wherewithal that a stunt is coming or to pass off the stunt or anything. You can tell, like, he's not looking at 95. He has not paying attention. Brunskill's passing off 95. Brunskill's like, I'm not touching 95. That's for you, Jalen. And if Jalen had his splits in more, wasn't getting so much depth, that's how you set yourself up to be able to handle a stunt. But because he gets so far out on an island, you can see Brunskill has to make a decision to be like, oh, 95, the guy I'm actually passing off, I have to go get now. I have to go get now. Almost gets home, creates a pressure essentially. And this is all off a miscommunication. And so this is the in-game adjustment to this happening. So look, Brunskill is he's waiting. He's waiting for the stunt, the pass off. Jalen isn't there, so that's why Brunskill does what he does. But now watch how they adjust it. What I find fascinating is that Brunskill would for this particular play to occur and how they handled the back plays. How they handled this stunt again tells me that Brunskill had to say in the huddle, "Listen, Jalen, we're not going to pass off. We're going to ISO. I'm going to take my guy, you take your guy, and that's how we're going to do it." That's not how you work stunts. It's not. It's what you do when the communication and the rhythm and understanding of trusting your guy and when he's going to be there to pass off and pick up. When it's not there, this is what you get. Look at Brunskill ISO and then bring his hip over. Look at Brunskill ISO and then bring his hip over into Allen. So again, typically Brunskill's picking up Allen and 90 is getting passed off to Jalen. That's how you work a stunt. That's how you pass it off. Something Brunskill McGlinchey undefeated at. Well, this is what you get when you gotta basically abandon that and go, "God, just ISO, ISO." Look, Brunskill knows the stunt is coming. That's why he throws his hip. You see that hip check? Boom. You see that? Brunskill's trying to block two people right now. He's trying to block two people right now because they aren't in position to carry out a simple pass off. Again, we talked about with Jalen Moore why it was going to be difficult for him to move to right tackle, there's going to be bumps and bruises along the way. Um, this is exactly it. And again, there's no surprise to me that Jalen Moore did not see the field um, after this drive, or he might have seen the field because I think he came in relief duty. But right after this sequence, ugh, little bit of overthrow from Jimmy. But right after the sequence, I think you get the touchdown to Ayuk, right? Oop, slow down. We get the touchdown to Ayuk. This was a great throw by Jimmy. This was a good throw by Jimmy. I liked all of it. This is a good throw by Jimmy. Whew. Remember what we talked about with stunts? Remember stunts and how you pass it off? This is what we expect as an offensive lineman of how to handle a stunt. Again, Looping, see the pass off. This is the expectation right here. That's the expectation. And because they pass it off, there again, imagine if like just like we saw on the other side, if Brunskill's staying head up on 93 and is like they're like we're isoing this and like Trent, which would be Jalen, somehow tries to loop around and get this. This is a different result. This is a different result. And so this is why it's so crucial with these certain offensive lineman techniques. And when you see them break down and not work like they should, it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue because we already saw how it was an issue 2 plays in a row. Here's an example of what it should look like, and the reason why this play is successful is because you have 2 competent offensive linemen who've played well and played together for a long time and know how this works. They know how this works. Trent has no problems but just shoving this guy down the line of scrimmage. No problems. And then unfortunately, Jalen gets beat. So it wasn't a good drive for Jalen. Definitely wasn't the best game for Jalen. And again, like we talked about, you get the touchdown. Touchdown's beautiful. Like look at the route concept. Look at the crossers that they got like in tandem. Again, this is zone. So look at the attention that the safety gives Kittle, and it leaves Brandon Ayuk coming wide open into that gap. Jimmy finds him. We like it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's good. But unfortunately for Jalen, Jalen is no longer in anymore. This was look how much time was left. This wasn't like, oh, Jalen's gonna play the first half and then we're gonna play Tom Compton the second half because I know that's how it's being worded. Um, tinfoil hat on, right? It is what it is. I understand what he's saying. You don't want to put out a message to the masses that you've benched your rookie tackle. I understand that. Um, but that's why Tom Compton's in. That's why Tom Compton's in. So although Jalen Moore had a really hot start at left tackle, he has really, really cooled down on the right side. So I would actually anticipate that Tom Compton is going to be the starter at right tackle this week. Again, just looking at the tape, just what the tape tells me, what I saw, how they made adjustments, and how they then just switched completely over to Tom Compton, and then everything went kind of back to normal. That tells me that they're probably going to go back to Tom Compton because we talk about it all the time. Ta- you, Talent is talent and it's great, but if you can't trust talent, then it doesn't really matter. You're gonna go with the guys that you can count on to be in the right position and to do the right things consistently. And unfortunately, they didn't get that from Jalen Moore this week. And so I kind of would imagine it might be the Tom Compton show. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, we'll see. I like this block by Jawan Jennings. Jawan Jennings is proving to be a really good blocker. Um, why did yeah, I would have loved to see Sermon hit this hard to the outside. He just got stuck. So I believe so. I think I was sitting in 230 for the Rams game. Rams game was legit. There's so many good plays though. There really are. I know we've been hopping around a bunch. You guys want to watch? I guess let's watch Aaron Banks. Might as well watch Aaron Banks. Um, Aaron Banks getting his first action. Getting his first action Um, you know, he definitely had his welcome to the NFL moment, 100%. Um, 100%. So here's Aaron Banks, number 65. This happens to be his welcome to the NFL moment. Um, it's not a bad rep initially. Um, Good feet. The feet are quick. He's kind of high, but the base looks okay. Base looks okay, but then you have you have to feel this as an offensive lineman. You have to feel when a defensive tackle is getting his eyes in the backfield. So it's like they love to do this. When you make contact, they extend, you see the extension, and they get their eyes into the backfield. They want to be able to identify where the running back is. And then what they do is they use your leverage against you. We talk about it with Trent Williams all the time and what he does. Simply, what 92 does is just use Aaron Banks' leverage against him because Aaron Banks is trying to push him that way. So he just throws him that way. And so it looks like it doesn't look that great. But I understand why it's happening. So this is a simple adjustment. This comes with reps. Again, this is just being able to feel that a little bit more, be able to fight against the guy trying to toss you out the way. Um, but that's correctable. This was I think the first snap that he had. Actually wasn't bad. But again, Trey Sermon showing off the lovely vision, unfortunately, runs straight into the back of them. Um, Again, it's really not that bad. I mean, he kind of becomes off balance again in a sense, but he's able to recover enough that the Trey needs to be able to read this stuff. Like this is some of the stuff that we've talked about uh where Trey Sermon needs to be better. You have to understand. You got a block here from Trent. Lincoln's kicking his guy out, or no, that's Jalen. Brendel's on his guy. The lane is right there. That's the lane. Like, we have to be able to see this. Like, there's a lane right here. You don't want to cut it back because you have this guy just sitting here. Don't cut it back. Just keep flowing over the top. And if you start flowing into this hole and 50 flows over the top, then cut it back inside. That's what zone is, not running into your offensive line. Um, so Trey Sermon's got some work to do. Trey Sermon's absolutely got some work to do. Where do I think Moore should play to get more time on the field? I whew. They're probably gonna have to do this kind of rotation thing, I think, at right tackle. I think that's his best shot. People always have told me uh all year to put him at guard. He is not guard. He's not a guard at all. It's just not his style. He's not a run blocker. Um Jalen Moore is your prototypical drop back passing like tackle. He's kind of like Trent Brown in the sense, really good footwork, good feet for the massive size that they are, but they weren't that good in the run game. They weren't great. Weren't like super good. Who's that over there? Is that Jawan? Is this Jawan? Who's blocking? I think that's Jawan. Look at Jawan on 20. Hell yeah, Jawan. Hey, Jawan's making me like him even more. You block like this. Hell yeah. This is the end of the game, too. Game's over. Look at him. Let's go, Jawan. I'll take that kind of effort from my wide receivers any day of the week. Pretty. Aw. Damn it. Next time. You could also watch it back too. You also have that available to you. 29:35 says Lakin slams the guy. Let's try to get some rapid fire. Let's try to get some rapid fire clips here. Rapid fire clips. Lakin right here throws a guy. That's what or slams guy. That's what my notes say. Let's see what happens. Ha! I remember this play. Look at this guy. Trent Williams, or not Trent, Lakin got him. Look at that hug. That's a bear hug. This is a hold, but because of his alignment, he can't see what Lakin is doing. And Lakin just literally tackles that guy. I love it. It's so good. So good. Let's see what other stuff that we want to look at. So this play, you know, we've looked at a lot of positives. This is one of the kind of ones you could put under could be better, you know, could do a little bit better. But I think this is a twofold situation. This was the sack on Jimmy Garoppolo. Um, and we talk about good and bad Jimmy all the time. I think we got a lot more good Jimmy than bad Jimmy against the Jags. But there are instances like this that I wonder. I want to know the thought process. I want to know what we're trying to do. Want to know why we took the sack. Because on it's twofold, okay? You get a stunt here. We'll talk about what happens on the offensive line. You're gonna get a guy crack hard. You're gonna get number 95 looping. You can see where Brunskill's head at. He's concerned about an outside looper. He's like got one eye to his right, and you can see right at the last second he kind of sees 95 coming to his peripheral. But what I'm trying to understand, and we've seen this a couple times from Jimmy, and this is just simply wanting to understand the timing, why like I really if we look at the route concept, let's look at the route concept again. You got this like trips bunch formation. You like looks like you got Kittle running a natural rub. So this is how this works out perfectly because here's Debo's guy, right? Manned up. The fact that Kittle gets to the outside here and gets in front of 27, I mean, could you ask for a more natural rub route? Like, could you ask for a more well-designed pick play? To get Debo Samuel free. So I guess, and it that looks like where he's looking at. So I guess what I'm trying to understand is why he doesn't throw the ball and takes a sack. I don't understand. Like on one point, like I get it. Yeah, okay, maybe don't get pushed as much, but at the same time, ball should be out. The ball should be out. Like, why aren't we passing the ball? Why are we taking a sack? This thing's wide open, dude. This thing's wide open from right here. Like, I don't know. So these are, like I said, we saw a lot of good Jimmy. We saw a lot of good Jimmy. We did, but the ball should be out. Like he watch the feet tell you the timing. This is this is not a long developing play from what I can see. And it looks to me as if it's a natural rub pick route to open up Debo Samuel. So Debo is wide open. I don't know. I guess I just don't know why we take the sack here. Especially this is Jimmy's throw too. Like this is like over the middle, like easy money. You got a nice cushion. The rub worked. Uh it's hard for me to like again, I am biased towards my offensive lineman, But still, it's hard for me to blame Brunskill. It's hard for me to blame Brunskill. To me, this is a quarterback sack. The quarterback sacked himself here. Um, so I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting. Again, I mean, so the arm angle in which he pumps might give us a little bit of insight into where he really wanted to go. Let's see what the other route concept was. So is he trying to go to Jawan Jennings? Oh. Oh, I see. I see. They wanted the death shot. So they wanted the death shot. Let me show you. This was a long developing route. So this was a very long developing play. So again, the ball should be out. I don't know. Is he throwing to Kittle or is he throwing to Jawan? I don't know which one he's trying to hit. But when you got that natural rub, oh, just check it down, hit Debo. I don't know. Again, but look at Jawan break open. You have single high, so this might be a really good time. Let one rip. So I don't know. I don't know what the exact progression of this play is. All I can see is that you had a natural pick play that got Debo wide open right away. You bang the ball on him. We know Debo's a yak god. He's going to make someone miss. And you just get the yards. So I don't know if they're trying to do this deep route to Kittle, because that's kind of what it looks like. This pump right here feels like it's directed at him. It doesn't feel like it's directed here. It doesn't feel like it's directed here. So I don't know. Don't know. Interesting though. Interesting. That's it, DJ. That's it. You cracked the code. You wanted to break the record at home and not right here. Totally, that's funny. He totally could have. Totally could have done that right here. Let's show some Brunskill. A couple Brunskill clips before we end it. Overall though, it was pretty good tape. It really was. There weren't a ton of miscues. I've showed like majority of them. Not a majority of them. I showed a good amount. What I want to show here, Brunskill, again. Look at this. This is so much harder than it looks. To be able to get on your track, beat the linebacker like Miles Jack to the spot. You're trying to get to this spot. You're trying to beat him. You're trying to beat him here. And because you have to anticipate he's going to flow. So that's why you see the angle he takes. He's trying to beat him to here. And he does. His head getting right there, the arm placement, gets there, beats him, and then just rides him out. Rides him out. It's a little bit a better angle to see how much ground he takes up. Just shoves him out. Brunskill's in his bag, man. Brunskill was in his bag right before this. Brunskill gets 2 on the ground. 91 goes down. 54 goes right after him. Sorry, pal. Sorry, bud. Again, 94 stemming inside, trying to set up a counter outside, and then they're overloading right here. It's a numbers game. Like they they blitz the right way, the right side, based on the way the offensive lineman is sliding protection. Um, but Brunskill gets both of them. And then you get this play to Sermon down the sideline that leads to 3 points. Brunskill was in his bag, guys. Brunskill was balling. He really was. He really was. I mean, again, the punch to the chest sends 91 to the ground. 54 follows right after. It's like a double pancake, basically. So Brunskill was playing really well. Run skill is playing really well. Let's see. Any other good ones? We haven't talked too much about Brandon Ayuk. I think they've done this in back-to-back weeks where they've gone to Brandon Ayuk out of the slant. Basically, or no, they've been running back-to-back slant routes with Brandon Ayuk. So you get a nice little off coverage slant. Jimbo fits it really nice into the pocket. Nice little gain. It's all good, all gravy. But then they come right back to it. 2 for 2. No, I lied. It's not 2 for 2. I think it was it's 2 for 3. I think they come back to it here. Yeah. So I like the effort that they have been showing to get Brandon Ayuk the ball on slants. He's gonna win these routes more often than not. He has so much ability that tried to bait him into okay, so he's trying to disguise press man. So he's trying to disguise press man. It almost looked like he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm bailing. I'm doing a bail technique or something." From the cornerback, it looks like he's press man. You're squared up. Your arms are ready to go, like more like this. But you can see it looks like he tried to disguise a little bit, but Brandon was able to get off that and then make a really nice play. Didn't get a ton of yards, but again, just showed the toughness and the ability to make plays after the fact. Pretty sure it was pretty clean up front. Yeah, not too much. Tom Compton. That's what you're going to get out of Tom Compton. But again, like I said, coaches will live with this as long as they know their assignment and are going to be in position to complete their assignment. That's much better for them than having unpredictability in regards to if an assignment is going to actually be executed or not. Let's see. Any other ones? Oh, I'll talk about this one. I thought the Jeff Wilson hurdle was sick. I thought this was nice. I posted it on IG, had some casuals talking crap about it, but what else is new? This was 1611. So what you get right here is you get a nice, again, the same double to backer concepts. We talk about this is an offensive lineman technique, and they continue to use it with skill positions. It's one of my favorite developments. Oh, let's go. We got Twitch in the building. Let's go. Twitch. One of my favorite developments of the year is the double to backer concept that they use with skill positions. So that's what this is. This is an offensive lineman technique, and they use it with a fullback and a wide receiver. You see Deebo Samuel is going to hold up his guy. He's going to try to get the outside leverage. See, this is a reach block. This is the equivalent of a reach block. Then you have, it's like the equivalent of like, where do we have a double to backer concept so we can show it? All right, we got one right here. So just like we see kind of with the double to backer concept, just imagine Debo is Lakin and Juice is Trent. Watch this specific positioning here. You get the reach block, right? Up top, you're going to get the reach block. You see that? Then what is the next step of the double to backer concept? This guy is going to take over the block so that this guy can get to the second level. See this concept right here? This is a staple of the zone run game. Staple. Every play, this is almost occurring. But what the 49ers are doing differently that I haven't personally seen, I'm not going to pretend like I'm watching every other team, but this concept is being executed right here. Again, same thing. Debo's trying to reach, get the outside leverage. Juice takes over the block. Debo off to the second level. This is beautiful. This brings tears to my eyes. We got skill position players executing offensive lineman technique and concepts. It's beautiful. And what you get out of it is you get Juice getting this guy on the ground. I thought this hurdle was so buttery. Again, it just to me speaks to the vision, the anticipation, the reaction time of Jeff Wilson to be able to like in a split second, like this guy isn't really, they're standing straight up until about right there. And then the ability just to go over the top and to not even break stride. Like this looks like he's a freaking Olympic hurdler. Like people like again, like I said, I posted this on Instagram. All the casuals came out and were like, "Oh, it's all right." I'm just like, you have no idea. You have no idea the amount of skill, vision, anticipation, the reaction time it takes to be running full speed while you're thinking you're reading. Like the mind of Jeff right now is like, am I running to the right or the left of Juice? He's waiting to see where the hips and everything lines up to see if it's a kick out. Typically, if it's a kick out, you're cutting inside, but he's going down, so he has to go right over the top. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was phenomenal. Um, this is hard. Let's see if we get a better, different type of angle from right here. Again, Juice going down like I mean, just like this is. I, I hate when people see this kind of stuff and they're just like, well, what? I could do that. Like what? This is insane. Didn't even break stride and hurdles a pancake block. Like I love this, man. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. So everyone doing their job up front, Kittle blocking, Kittle doing Kittle things. Again, blocking any way possible. Even use your butt if you have to. So a lot of good stuff from this tape, man. A lot of good stuff. Um, I would say probably biggest takeaways are, Jalen Moore struggled. He struggled quite a bit. Um, at least in regards to how we've seen him play on the left side and what have you. We knew that was coming, but it honestly was to the point where they had to bench him. So that's not great. So we're gonna see how that's gonna be managed, throughout the weeks and all that. Oh, let's go. See, this is a real one. This is a real one. He's watching on Twitch and YouTube. Let's go. I appreciate you guys. You guys are next level. Sourdough Squad's next level. We know that. But I love that energy. That's fire. Really do. I just go live on Twitch, honestly. I don't think I'm doing too much over there on Twitch. But got to start somewhere. So overall, really pleased with the tape, really pleased with the game plan, really pleased with the blocking concepts, really pleased with the execution on the O line. Now, you guys notice we haven't really done too many Trent clips. Trent had a pretty average day at the office. Typically, what we've come to expect from Trent Williams is we expect greatness, like to the nth degree, where we're seeing him bust out new techniques, things that we really haven't seen from him too often. But today, against this game, he was just regular left tackle, which got the job done. Absolutely got the job done still. We just didn't get the, left-handed cross chops. We didn't get the crazy flipping of dudes. We got maybe a play or two where he really did that, but overall, it's just a solid game for Trent. Lakin had a few bumps and bruises along the way. Again, Brunskill, in my opinion, was the best offensive lineman of the day, and it really wasn't uh, questionable. That's how well I thought Brunskill played. I thought Brunskill played fantastically. Again, even something simple like this that's not going to pop up, but you got Miles Jack flashing in the A gap. Miles Jack is one of the better linebackers in this league from an athletic standpoint. Look at this dude. See, again, I always talk about this as an offensive lineman. When you have confidence in your ability to block and you start looking for blitzing linebackers, stunting people, and other things, and you're looking for work when you're blocking someone, that is a form of confidence for offensive linemen. The fact that you are actually blocking someone in front of you, yet you're still looking for work, that is confidence and ability. That's confidence that you are with it. And like from a mental processing standpoint, not everyone can do that. Some guys have to solely focus on the guy that's in front of them. So again, Brunskill had a day. Brunskill had a day. I think he was one of the best performing players. Who else had a really good day? Debo, clearly, Debo continues to be insane because he did all his work as a running back, pretty much. He did all his work as a running back. Jimmy Garoppolo had a good game. Perfect example right here. This is an absolute dime to Brandon Ayuk. Again, what the play highlights, though, is some of the struggles from Jalen Moore. That was the last play from Jalen Moore. Juice did a good job. Juice did a good job. 100%. Yes, sir. Trent Williams and George Kittle need their own pancake at IHOP. Facts. But everyone did pretty good on the offensive side so far. Brandon Ayuk had a day. Trey Sermon, again, I know why he is not playing. I know why. I know a lot of fans ask the question about why Trey Sermon doesn't play. I know why Trey Sermon doesn't play. He still has a lot to gain in regards to vision and running behind this offensive line. He clearly has some work to do, but that will come with experience. That should come with reps. Hopefully. I've seen guys like Darren Mcfadden. Darren McFadden, phenomenal power runner. Phenomenal. But when it came to running zone, god awful. Like terrible. This clip right here, this shows you, oh, is it Debo or Sermon who got the ball? Sermon got the ball. So I like this little adjustment at the line from Sermon. He's running it out of the fullback position. Again, this is a good read. This is a good read. I'll take that. This little, you're kind of aiming for the A gap. A gaps gets smashed down by Lakin. Shout out Lakin for collapsing that with Mack. And whew, oh, I remember what happened. Trent got tripped, so it looks a lot worse than it really was. If Trent doesn't trip right here, he could potentially break through. So we'll see. Um, so Sermon's a ways away, and that's okay. Because we hit on Elijah Mitchell. So that's good. So the good thing is we hit on Elijah Mitchell. Trey Sermon's a little bit more developmental at this point. He has the baseline size and skill set and speed. Unfortunately, it's just the vision. So that we'll have to be patient with that. And I think that'll be all right. But overall, George Kittle, he had many more good plays than bad plays. I think he had 2 plays he'd probably like to have back. But honestly, again, the 49ers still could have done things a little bit differently here or there, and they still came away with a 30-10 victory. Um, it was it was nice. Yeah, and there's something. Gould was money. Do I have to start calling him Gold now? I think that I said that. I said if Robbie Gold started to make his kicks, I would start calling him by his real name, which I believe it's pronounced Gold. Um, I've stuck with Gould because you know, I I'm kind of with Jason in the sense that I don't really like paying my kickers. I don't like rewarding kickers that hold out. It's not my favorite thing. I know they love them in that locker room, and and all that. That's all good. But it's like, yeah, maybe Robbie can go. I have no problems. So the fact that Joey Sly came in, missed a bunch of kicks, Robbie's come back and hasn't missed any kicks makes me feel better. So I'll start calling him by his real name, I guess. Um, here's a random play. Here's a random has nothing. Oh, I didn't show this play at all. We'll end it with this one. This will be our last play. Um, Brandon Ayuk, bro. Watch Brandon. Look at Brandon. He smokes, dude. He smokes this dude. Who's that? 28? Hit the gym, bro. Hit the gym. What are we doing? 28? Boink. Got clobbered, bruh. Didn't even phase Brandon. He's running into a hit. Look at 26 or 28 or whatever his number is. He got rocked. He wanted to stay on the ground. I think he might have got a concussion. Dude got rocked. Look at Brandon. He doesn't even, not even paying attention. Let's watch it from this angle. You'll see Brandon coming across. 26 comes up, like not even phased. Again, that's basically contact on arrival. That's basically contact on arrival. Not even phased. Boom. And here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part. It's so random and like so silly. But you see this, you see the armband kind of come off right here. See that? I thought it was hilarious because it reminded me of like a movie. Like, I don't know, like if you had like sharpened toe or something, and you see like a funny action movie where they like slice something and it just like comes off. But like essentially what happens is Ayuk's cleat slices this dude's armband and it just falls right off. And it's just like the action of when you slow it down of just like his foot coming over, slicing the armband and the armband just falling off. I don't know why this entertained me so much. I watched this a couple times. I'm just a weirdo like that. But for whatever reason, Brandon Ayuk's cleat slicing this dude's armband off provided me with a lot of entertainment. I enjoyed watching this a couple times. I don't know why. Just the action of the foot swipe and then the armband falling off. I don't know. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was good. Oh, nice. Nice. Good burn. Good burn. Good burn. We like that burn. That was a good burn. What's that? What's that? So it was a lot of fun. I mean, the offense, the Vikings offense is good. They're a potent attack. It's a potent attack. So they got Dalvin Cook. They got Justin. They got weapons. weapons. We got guys like Josh Norman. So we'll find out what happens. I'm confident in a matchup of Emmanuel Mosley on uh Thielen. However, I'm not as confident about Josh Norman on uh what's his face? Uh Justin Jefferson. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I think a lot of it comes down to how we perform in the trenches, how this defensive line creates pressure and creates uncomfortability of Kirk Cousins. I think that's the best way to do it. I think our run defense is good enough to contain Cook enough. He's gonna find a lane, he's gonna find a crease, he's gonna make a good cut, he's gonna get open. Cook, Dalvin Cook is gonna find a way to get it done. Um, However, if the 49ers can force them into passing situations, again, we've talked about complimentary football all year. 49ers chew clock and score points, and you force the defense to have to throw back and score quickly. That feeds into what we want, at least in my eyes, what we want to do. And what we want to do is we want to move Kirk Cousins off his spot and make him feel really comfortable, really uncomfortable all the time. So if they can do that, then that's how you neutralize. A really potent passing attack. Um, yeah, I agree. Ward is going to be a big part of that. Armstead's going to have to step up a little bit. So, yeah, I think it's going to be another trench game. And DJ saying it, controlling the clock, using the ground game. That's it. That's what we need to do. So that's the hope. And it's going to be a fun game, though. It's going to be a fun game. Finally feels like it means something. Finally feels like we're playing for something rather than like playing to not lose. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a different type of vibe and mentality that comes from playing for something rather than playing not to lose, if that makes sense. Like we were at a point where our backs were up against the wall and it just felt like we were playing not to lose and we were losing kind of as a result. Um, but hopefully this continued momentum continuity continues to grow. Hopefully we get Elijah Mitchell back. I really, really hope so. Luke Luna, my guy, appreciate you, my dude. Podcast coming soon. Stay tuned. Oh, stay tuned. Stay tuned. And DJ's right, 100% way better vibe now. Ellis, 100%. The O line is dominating. The key is through our O line. You know us. We start in the trenches here. We start and stay in the trenches here. So 100%. O line's gonna have to keep doing their thing. Not having Mike McGlinchey is gonna bite us eventually. Hopefully not anytime soon. But not having Mike is gonna hurt us at one point. When is it gonna happen? I don't know. But it is hurting a little bit. And that's right. It is Thanksgiving on Thursday. His Thanksgiving on Thursday. That's right around the corner. I hope you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I'll be back tomorrow, so we'll be able to talk more about some Thanksgiving stuff specifically. But I think Jason Aponte, it's Wednesday tomorrow, right? So Jason Aponte will be on with me tomorrow. We'll do our state of the franchise episode. Get his takes on offense, defense against the Jags, and how that leads up to the Vikings game and everything in between. So, yeah, yes, choking on that gold dust, exactly. Um, so we'll see. We'll see what occurs. But shout out to all the squad, Sourdough Squad, as always, holding it down in the chat, watching the lives, and engaging with the vibes. You know the vibes. So we'll be back tomorrow. We'll have more um, content coming your way. So again, as always, you guys have a phenomenal rest of your evenings, and we'll be back